Hey everyone, it's Nick Clark here, and in today's video we are going to go over knowing your numbers. Now, the problem that I see happening quite a lot is that a lot of people actually don't know what their actual numbers look like, okay? And when that happens specifically is that the consequences of not knowing your numbers and how to do your due diligence correctly within property is massive. We can go from having a property that you think might be working very, very well to having a property that doesn't perform very well. And those finer details are really important, and we have to have a look at it. In today's video, we're going to go over that, and we're going to walk through two different deals, and we're going to actually go through exactly why it's important for us to look at specific numbers to ensure that we get the result that we want. So the problem is that if we don't actually look at this process, is that if we're actually going into, say, buying, purchasing a deal based on certain numbers, say a certain return on investment, and interest, let's say mortgage interest rates go up and we haven't stress tested our property portfolio. If we're buying that for, say, kids' university, for instance, or we're buying that for, say, early retirement, and we haven't actually factored multiple different things into place within our property portfolio, then actually what happens is we can actually hinder ourselves later on down the line. Hey guys, give us a thumbs up if you're with me currently at the moment. So basically what's going to happen is if we don't start looking at these factors, okay, and if we get them right, is that we can actually start looking at your property portfolio in a more positive manner, where you can actually start getting a property portfolio that works for you, which can give you the freedom, give you the money, give you the things that you want to achieve in life, so you can live the life that you want on your terms. So let's look into it right now of two different types of deals, examples, and walk you through the steps of what you need to be looking at. Okay, so if I've got here on examples, I've got two different deals. The one on the left over here, this is one that I actually found on Facebook. Somebody who actually sold this deal to an investor. The one over here is one that we've sold recently to a client. It's rented out, they've refinanced it, etc. And we're actually going to look at the two figures. Now, when we're actually looking at these two properties here specifically, okay, we look at the figures are actually not that much far off, okay? The purchase prices are not that much far off, the refurb prices and the cost into the deal. But when we actually look at, say, your yield and your return on investment, you can see here specifically they're actually not that far off, okay? So when we start looking at it, we say, okay, well, let's analyze this deal. What's actually going to be good for me as an investment moving forward for my goals? Well, specifically what happens is, okay, if I'm looking at the cash flow and say, okay, well, this one on the left here in the red, it's got a better cash flow and the end value is much better. So I'm going to go for that one because this one over here is slightly less cash flow and the value is $5,000 less, okay? But we're missing one small detail in this matter, and that's matter we need to look at is what is the current interest rate that these deals are being worked out at. Now, this interest rate over here, when I looked at the details a bit more, is the person's done their return on investment based on 4% interest rate, okay? Based on interest only at 4%. Now that's okay, that's currently what mortgages you're gonna get on average within the industry. And over here specifically, we actually do ours on 6%. We work that return investment based on 6%. And the reason why we do that is because we have to make sure that we future-proof our property portfolio, okay? So how does that actually affect these two deals, and which one would you do differently, okay? Well, the first one over here, if we swap these over, these interest rates over now, so let's stress test this to 6% interest rate, and let's say put this at current mortgage interest rates at the moment, okay? We're going to look at the return on investment on both of them, and we're also going to look at your cash flow at both of them. So the cash flow on this one specifically goes to at 4% to £225 per calendar month, which is an increase of, say, just under £90, okay? Then over here for return on investment, if we stress test it to 6%, the return on investment actually goes down to 9% over here. And the cash flow goes down to £79 per calendar month. And for this one over here, the return on investment actually goes to 34%. So we're looking at one specific detail, okay? And what we have to understand is that within property, details matter most. The only difference within this is what those calculations worked out at. The interest rate. When we start diving into detail and start future-proofing the portfolio, this has actually turned out to a way worse of an investment, saying the one that we've actually sourced off, which is stress test at 6%, it's cash flowing positively at £138 per calendar month, and this one is at £79 per calendar month, okay? So there are 4 different we actually have to look at when we actually invest in property. Whether you're actually looking to source properties out there, or whether you're actually wanting to make sure that you're getting a really good investment for your retirement. And the first one is that we have to understand what due diligence we need to do to be able to get into property. The second thing that we have to understand is that we must understand and know our numbers. What are the details that we must look into? The third thing is we must have the right systems in place so we can ensure we make decisions fast and drastically quickly, okay? The fourth thing is we must have the right teams in place to bring the right types of deals like this one to you to get you moving forward, okay? Now, the problem is that people don't understand and don't have these 4 key things. And if you'd like to actually learn more about this, then all we want you to do is go to discoverwithnick.com. That's discoverwithnick.com. And for those of you guys watching, just if you can type that into the comment box there for me. So just type in discoverwithnick.com. And that way we can go into a little bit more detail of how this actually works so you guys can be better investors. Now, what I see is you find a lot of these coming in from people who haven't been investing for a while. They maybe just watched a webinar, etc., and actually think, okay, I'm going to do this just at 4%. We've actually been investing for over 7 years, as well as sourcing over 340 properties, and every single one of them is done in this way. So if you guys like to know a little bit more about that, go to discoverwithnickclark.com and I'll see you there. Have a great day, guys, and I'll speak to you all later.